Innsbruck and one in Munich, and this one is the last one today. So this is a collaboration of the local youth conference from Germany, Italy, and Austria, and was made possible by the Italian tourism agency.
Soll ich nochmal beginnen? Nochmal von vorne? Okay. So, welcome to today's event. It's the last event of our event series. So we had one in Munich, one in Innsbruck, and today this one in Milan. This whole climate rally is a cooperation of the local youth conference Germany, Italy, and Austria. So if you don't know what LCOY is, it's basically the local youth conference before the climate conference in Glasgow. And the goal of our climate rally was simply to highlight problems in the transportation sector in Europe, especially in Italy, Germany, and Austria, and also gain an insight of politicians and experts on site. So we are very honored to welcome Deputy Consul General of Germany in Milan, Tatiana Schenker-Oliveri, who will speak a few words after this. Oh, do you want to speak now? Yeah, okay. Then, before we start, we just want to introduce ourselves. My name is Lena, and I was partly responsible for filming the whole climate rally because we're gonna make a short documentary afterwards, and then we will actually show it at the Climate Film Festival in Innsbruck. And this is my colleague Sarah, who joined us for the climate rally and is a passionate cyclist. So, yeah.
Exactly. Thank you, Lena. So a very warm welcome also from my side. Very excited to be here. I joined in Italy, actually, and I'm super stoked to be here in Milan now for this final event with all of you. And yeah, I think, speaking of Italy, we have a short video before it's your turn to show you.
So we're just gonna show a short, really beautiful trailer by the Italian tourism agency who made this all possible.
Ja, guten Abend, good evening. Sorry. It's great pleasure for me to be here with you today and to welcome you on behalf of the Consulate General of Germany in Milan. You cycled a lot. I heard 10 days. It was 10 days of fatigue and sweat, and the happier I am to welcome you here. Willkommen once again. With your very impressive itinerary, you pointed out the importance of zero emission mobility. Zero emission mobility is a subject which is very desirable, not yet feasible, but you have shown a way. And on your way, you had the opportunity to discuss sustainable travel and transport in Munich and in Innsbruck. And I'm very curious to hear about the results of your discussions and your meetings with representatives of the cities of Innsbruck and Munich, and as I heard also of my colleagues from the British consulates, and as we all know, Great Britain is going to host the next climate conference. With regard to Germany, as I represent this beautiful country, I have to say that transport is responsible for around 20% of greenhouse gas emissions, and it's quite a substantial part, and indeed transport is the sector which has least contributed to climate action so far. It simply underlines the necessity to do more, and indeed the German government has stepped up its climate policy. Germany has committed to become greenhouse gas neutral by the year of 2045, and with Germany's immediate climate action plan 2022, the government provides 800 billion euros, including 400 million euros for cycling. Furthermore, Germany has increased the value-added tax on air travel. It has decreased the value-added tax on transport by train. The German government is promoting the electric car industry is promoting engines fueled by biogas, by hydrogen, and is trying to contribute to significantly reduce greenhouse gas emissions. These are only some of the initiatives I can present you today. And for sure, a lot more needs to be done. The more important it is that you are caring for the environment, and that you are standing up and making your voices heard. Tomorrow, Monday, the Youth Summit is going to start. No, it's after the day after tomorrow, right? The Youth Summit is going to start, and I heard that some of you are going to participate, and I hope that you can bring your insights into the conference, and then what is even more important, also to the pre-COP, which is going to start on the 30th, and there is a little overlap so that participants of the Youth Summit can share their ideas and projects for the future, for a more climate-friendly environment with the experts who are going to participate in the pre-COP. That's all I have to say. Once again, my compliments for doing this impressive tour. I wish you a nice day in Milan and a successful participation in the Youth Summit. And I hope you have fruitful discussions with the representatives of the different governments which are going to be here from the 30th of September. As you know, we are also expecting a delegation from Germany. Thank you very much, and maybe I say a few words on tonight again, because we have the elections. Some of you might have already looked up the first incoming results, and of course it would have been desirable to have a greener election outcome. For some cities it looks quite good, as in Berlin, that's what I can say, and on the federal level we still could do more, so please stay active and keep on being engaged and protecting the environment. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So now we want to give you a short overview of our process. So in total we cycled 10 days, and in total this was 600 kilometers. So some people already joined in Munich, others joined in Innsbruck, and some had to go back, but in total we were 22 people, and all coming from different fields. So for example, some are studying economics, someone is studying medicine, so it's a very diverse group with different viewpoints, and it was very exciting to share each other's thoughts and collect visions together and talk to various experts. So the altitude difference was 8,000 meters, which is a lot. I myself just joined for 2 days, and the other days I filmed. So I really, and the days I joined, it was more downhill. But I'm really impressed by my colleagues who cycled all 10 days. So as I already mentioned, there were 3 big events, all focusing on the same topic but in different ways. So for example, in Innsbruck we had a quiz, and people could win tickets to the film festival. In Munich we had the kickoff event where we just started to get to know each other better, because before we only knew each other from talking to each other on Zoom, and this was a very unique experience. So in total we have 10 interviews, and we hope to interview you later as well, to just gain an insight and just see politicians and experts talking about this particular issue. It was very important to us that it's not just some bold words without any context, and we really wanted to have people on screen that are really passionate about this issue, or at least know what they are talking about, and not just saying some random words. It was sponsored by the Italian tourism agency. Here you can see where we started and where we had our different stops, and then we're gonna continue to the next slide. So the highlights of the tour were definitely talking to all those different experts and people from Italy, Austria, and Germany. So here you can see a picture of the British charge d'affaires who traveled all the way from Vienna to Innsbruck, which was very cool. And then there is also the mayor of Innsbruck on the left. And we just heard a lot about the situation in Innsbruck, especially with regards to the Brenner region. And also in South Tyrol, we talked to someone who works at the government on site. And he also told us that it's a very long and cumbersome process, because there are just not that much change in politics and with all the different companies and factories in the region. But he said it's going to be a bit better, but still in the Brenner region it's very, it's slowly changing. And then on the left you see a picture of us at Lake Garda, which was really beautiful. We spent 1 day there and made a bit of a rest because we were really exhausted and the weather was really beautiful, and we just had a look around and enjoyed the time there. So now my colleague Sarah is going to take over, and
Right. Thank you, Lena. So besides the beautiful scenery, that was obviously a highlight of the tour. Another clear highlight was to talk to so many different experts on various topics. The next slide is supposed to just give you an overview. I'm not going to go into too much detail there. But those are just a couple of those topics that we covered along the route. So for example, we talked about cargo transportation, we talked about traffic calm zones, where we have them, what difference they actually make. We talked about cross-state cooperation, given that we cycled through Germany, Austria, and Italy, and especially also South Tyrol, and crossed a lot of borders. That was a major topic for us, which I personally learned a lot about. We talked about public transport, we talked about cars, what problems cars cause, whether we can actually already move on from cars, what alternatives there are, what problems they cause, for example, when it comes to parking, both in cities and outside of cities, especially also with tourism in, you know, those nice areas in Italy where a lot of tourists want to come. And also communication and marketing, that was a topic for us. And last but not least, finance. Where does the money come from? Where does it go? What should be done there? And kind of how we approached those topics was often, as you can see in those photos along the route, we just noticed things. And that's how we came up with questions. For example, we noticed that there were very many bad bike lanes in Austria and in Germany, partly also in Italy, especially around Lake Garda, where we had to go through the tunnels with a lot of other cars. Sometimes there were just no bike lanes at all. But then we also noticed that there were some very good areas in South Tyrol where we had really nice bike lanes just for ourselves. And so we started questioning, why is there such a difference between different areas? And for example, this is how we came up with the topic of why is there no more cross-state cooperation? Just to give you a short glimpse of how the process worked and why this experience of really cycling through the countries helped us with this process. And based on this process, we also have kind of a vision that builds on these experiences. Those are just a couple of suggestions and thoughts that we had, which we think are kind of good practices or best practices or might be the future. So for example, bike highways, way to go. That was awesome to have those really good bike lanes in South Tyrol. I wish we had more also in Austria and in Germany. We noticed that the signposting was really good in places, and that just takes away so much pressure. It would be awesome to have an all-encompassing app for intelligent, sustainable transport systems, also so you can make sure you can get to the bike route on time, book your bus or your train or whatever. What we also noticed was a lot of kindness and consideration along the route. We had one accident along the way where it came in really handy that we had one medicine student with us. But so many people, other bikers also just stopped and asked whether they could phone the medics or do anything for us, offer to help. It was awesome to see that. And yeah, the last one, and that might be the trickiest one, would be to really comprehensively implement all the existing solutions, because I think in a lot of places we have the right ideas, we're just not quite there to really use them. And talking about existing solutions, those are some of the solutions that we saw along the route, that we came up with, that we also talked about in our discussions. I won't go through them all. You can see them. Let's just quickly look at them. So traffic calm zones, shared spaces, speed limits in cities, then comprehensive networks of cycle paths in cities and outside of cities. Apps are a thing that work in some places and don't in others. Cargo bikes, that's the cargo transportation problem again. Then repair stations, we did not really have any major issues, luckily. But yeah, that was luck. I guess there wouldn't have been so many options to get our bikes repaired. And then also the topic of how do we get to the bike route if we don't want to start at our own door. Trains are the way to go, in my opinion. There are night trains, but they are quite expensive at the moment. And also bike transport by train can be tricky. Okay. And so this is where we started. This is right in front of the Ludwig-Maximilians-Universität in Munich, where I study. And this is where we are now on the next slide in Italy. And I think we have a last video summarizing our Italian experience, or maybe what will come in the upcoming days. So let's have a look at that. And besides the ads that we are supposed to show, we also cut together some of our own videos that we shot along the route, and we are very excited to have this official premiere now with you.
Appalachian sunrise meets my Appalachian sunrise meets my skin. Even with my eyes still closed, I can feel it coming in. Golden, golden, I'll follow only golden, 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 golden things. Mountain laurel high fives for miles in spring. Rainbow trout and a hummingbird wing. Golden, I'll follow only golden. Golden, golden things. Gold hair, gold rings, gold leaves, gold anything, golden. I'll follow only golden, golden, golden things. Walk up the river by my son. Feet step over splinters of the moon. Golden, I'll follow only golden, 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 golden things. Gold birds,
short documentary in Innsbruck, which will be held on I think on the 17th of October. So if you have time and want to join us, then we're going to show the final video with all the interviews and with audio, because now it was just like a short overview of what we have seen and what we have done. But I think the short documentary in the end will be much more educational and just giving people a more detailed information about transport, because I think what we also kind of learned as a group is that transport often is seen as a very boring topic, which is not very exciting. But during those last 10 days, we kind of realized how much impact transportation has, and even more than we initially thought. And just, talking to all those different peoples, and also, as you have seen, the British General Consul from the UK in Munich also joined us for 2 days, and the one from Italy in Munich joined us for 1 day, which is also very interesting to just talk about the diplomatic experience while biking through the Austrian, through Austria, or like Tyrol, and we also went to Tegernsee. So thanks for coming, and thanks for watching online, to all these people who are joining us online. And also thanks for Sarah for the presentation. And thank you. If you have any other question, feel free to ask us.